I'm Paul Foranby, aka IncrediPaul. Welcome to 6-Minute Saturdays. The first time I'm doing this, the shorter form of the podcast, IncrediPaul Podcast, and it's just a more digestible, so maybe you're not able to do the full 30-minute or sometimes up to 1 hour episodes, but this is a lot shorter, condensed. And I want to start just talking about what I do and what I'm about. All I do with IncrediPaul is to power the professional development of students and young professionals in STEM. And the whole reason behind that, or my why behind that, is helping students. Since I was a student myself, I realized that to get to where I am, working in manufacturing the last 7 years, also being an entrepreneur, been making six figures in my 9 to 5, and then working on making six figures in my business. And so I want to help people do the same thing. More importantly, help students. What I realize is that as a student or as a young professional, you don't know what you don't know. So that's why I want to be here to bridge the gap. So I've been helping students since I was a student myself. My summer after my sophomore year, I had the opportunity to mentor a freshman student and a high school student in lab research. So I stayed in my lab over the summer, had a project in research as far as I'm looking into different types of stem cells, adult stem cells, and did all the testing. I worked with them on a lot of different things. I got to grow and develop very quickly as a sophomore. It was really cool. And I also been involved in student organization and hosted conferences from the student organizations that I've been a part of. I actually helped found a student organization called iResearch, been a part of SHIP and NESB, help with their conferences, their workshops, all of those things. But fast forward to 2020, I had the opportunity to found a nonprofit. So I was already doing stuff at local LSAMP, which is Louis Stokes Alliance for Minority Participation. And I saw an opportunity to expand to the national level, or really I was thinking more regional at that point. And so I was able to found this nonprofit, partner with a regional center of excellence, or kind of a hub for all the other organizations that help with Louis Stokes. So there's over 50, and there's always more coming out. So by the time that I find out, there might be up to 60 at that point. But I wanted to formalize all the stuff I was doing. So I had been helping at different conferences and workshops, a lot of times with universities, talking with students, mentorship, all of that stuff. So 2020 was when I was able to found IncrediPaul and also help found what we called LSEP Alumni Group, what is now NALA-STEM, or National Alliance Lead Acceleration of Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. So it's been really exciting to see the growth over the last 3+ years for both of those organizations. And when I first started IncrediPaul, I was definitely more focused on the speaking side of things. And I thought, okay, as far as speakers, who is a person to go to other than John Maxwell, the #1 leadership guru in the world? And so at that point, I joined the John Maxwell team, which is now Maxwell Leadership. And so I started on the speaking side, then I went into the coaching track, got my certification in March of 2021. And then since then, I've been doing more coaching. And what I realized is as I was doing these things, whether doing stuff in person or one-on-one, is that there's only the people I can impact are the ones that I were in the room with or one-on-one with virtually. And so I wanted a way to still impact people that I might never see or never have opportunity to be in the same room with. And so I thought about doing a podcast. So at that point in 2021 and into 2022, I was doing a blog, and I had an audio blog, so I was reading it. So I knew a little bit about the platforms. And so some people had talked about my logo that had this microphone on here. And so they were saying, like, do you have a podcast? And for the longest time, I just said, no, I don't. And it wasn't until I took the time, some reflection. So I'm a person of faith. I prayed as well. And God was really telling me to step out in faith and start a podcast. And I started doing it just monthly because I wasn't even sure if this was something I liked. And so all of 2022 was only doing it once a month. And then into 2023, towards the end of 2022, I'd say September, I really felt that was something I enjoy doing, and I wanted to create a plan to scale up to doing weekly, but I wanted to take steps to make sure I could do it consistently. So I started off by doing bi-weekly episodes. I went up to weekly episodes in June, and so now I've been doing weekly episodes for a couple months now. I'm adding these 6-minute Saturdays. So that's kind of my story in 6 minutes. I'm trying to hold to it, make sure it stays to 6 minutes, but definitely I hope this is valuable to you. I'll dive more into specific topics in leadership, personal growth, business, career, maybe some finances and stuff. But being true to what I said, I want to make sure it's 6 minutes. And there's a couple more things I want to talk about, but I will talk about the next time we see each other or listen to each other, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on your favorite podcast streaming platform. Thanks for listening or watching 6 Minute Saturdays.